A football announcer in Alabama says that people who don't stand for the national anthem at the beginning of football games should be shot. Pastor Alan Joyner of the Sweet Home Baptist Church was at the Mackenzie High School football game in Alabama, and he said that people who kneel during the national anthem should be shot by the military because the people in the military are taking shots for the people who are kneeling. Now, this is, of course, calling out the new trend among professional football players, primarily started by Colin Kaepernick of the San Francisco 49ers, who originally sat out the national anthem, and after discussions with people who are in the military and police forces, have settled on kneeling during the national anthem as a way to protest certain race relations in America and injustices in the legal system and police brutality. The statement by Alan Joyner, the pastor, has gotten 4,700 shares and 50 positive comments, so it's not that big, but it is something that people are talking about. There are a lot of folks in the NFL who have kneeled as well. The Seattle Seahawks on Sunday's game joined arms and stood, whereas across the sidelines, and it was on 9/11, the Miami Dolphins had a few people kneeling. Opinions gone back and forth on this, as you've heard more people talk, but according to the local school that this happened at, there is no patriotism should be part of the school event, but threats of shooting people who aren't patriotic, even in jest, have no place at the school. Grace, what do you think about this?
Well, I think it's good that the school came out and said you can't tolerate that sort of rhetoric because it is really dangerous, and obviously it's the expression that I identify most with when we're talking about this time in our country is that the country's on fire. Like it really is. Yeah. That our country is on fire and people want to do what they can. They want to express how they are feeling during this time. And I don't think that silent, peaceful protest is wrong.
Right.
I think that is what our soldiers, are fighting for, is our right to peacefully protest. And again, it's silent. It's an omission of themselves in standing for the national anthem, which we talked about a little bit off camera. There's a whole verse that we don't sing that mentions slavery. So it's not exactly, I'm not saying that the national anthem is bad by any means, but there are a lot of, issues related to race in this country that we have to face head on. As a country, you can't just ignore it. And I think that if we are being called to action or if we are being forced to notice it more by people in prominent positions like footballers, I mean, that's like going to church in this country, watching football, then great. I think that more power to them. Although, but I also want to support the people that are standing, especially on 9/11. I felt really conflicted watching some of the games yesterday and remembering, you remember where you were on 9/11, and it didn't sit well with me that everyone wasn't standing on that particular day, but who am I to judge someone else's peaceful protest? Who am I to say it's right or it's wrong, especially as a person with white privilege? Who am I to be like, oh, fuck you, stand up,
Yeah, it's tough. First of all, going back to the national anthem, the official lyrics, because there was slavery, was the land of the free, asterisk, because there are people who weren't free. Also, the national anthem is a passive-aggressive question. Did you know that? The national anthem was written by Francis Scott Key about the War of 1812, and the whole thing is it's a prisoner who is watching the battle overnight, and the Americans won the battle. And the whole thing is a passive-aggressive question to the captor being like, so can you still see, is it our flag you can still see? The one with the broad stripes and the bright stars?
I didn't know that.
Because at the last twilight, the twilight I was there, and now it's the dawn's early light. Is it still there? Because I can't see. I can't see it. Can you see our flag, bitch? That's the national anthem. Go listen to it.
Wait, I knew that it was about the War of 1812. I didn't know that it was from the perspective of a prisoner.
It's like, can you see?
Oh my
By
gosh.
this dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed last night at the twilight's last gleaming, with the broad stripes and the bright stars. There was a perilous fight. Oh, that fight was crazy. And there are ramparts ramparts fucking everywhere. We're so gallantly streaming. Oh, you know, and the rockets, there were rockets. The bombs everywhere. And I just was like, I just don't know. Is our flag still there, bitch?
Yeah, honestly.
Or the land of the free, though there are slaves, in the home of the brave, bitch.
Okay.
So that's our national anthem. The Colin Kaepernick thing. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Colin Kaepernick. And then what's weird is, as an American, my thoughts of him as a football player trump everything else. So I'm like, ugh, just play football well. And then I realized that's unfair. And it's like, stop making this about not football because you need to be better. And then you read everything that he says and you're just like, that is super reasonable. And you took into consideration whether this is like, you know, desecration of the flag versus like now the kneeling thing is the equivalent, sort of. I mean, when you take a knee, that's everyone, the penitent man shall pass. The penitent man kneels before God.
Penitent man is humble, kneels before God.
So it is kneeling. It's like doing yourself at half-mast or half-staff or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's been thought through, and this is a time to protest, or this is a way to protest. And yeah, I agree with you that like the military is fighting for America, but one of the main things, the First Amendment, is free speech. They were like, you know, and if you're a religious person, pastor, the first one is like, the first commandment is the most important, you know, you shall have no gods before me. You know, that's the one that they put forward as first, and they're like, okay, free speech is like our number one check. And then you get to like, you know, the right to bear arms. I'm sure you agree with that. And then it's like search and seizure. It's like now we're into, you know, protocol.
That
but the first one's like,
quickly.
say whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know about this.
I think it'll be interesting to see how long this protest lasts and what sort of action the players who are sitting out are looking for. You know, it's sort of an open-ended question. When are we done? Like, and that's literally like asking, when is racism over? Because it's not. I mean, that's not going to happen for a very long time. We are very far from racism being over. But it just makes me wonder, when will they feel like enough has been done in the way of progress that they can now stand? Or is this something that we should get used to seeing?
Colin Kaepernick's story is fascinating.
Yeah, it really is.
Colin Kaepernick his mom was a teenager who got pregnant. She's a white lady. And he's, I think I don't know if he was black or whatever. But she was like, I can't keep this baby. And so he got adopted by like two white parents in Wisconsin and grew up like that. And now his like birth mother is like, call me, you know, and you're not sure. And he's giving like she's giving parenting advice and like guidance to him during all this. And she's against his protest. It is so weird.
That is very convoluted. I hadn't heard about that element of the story.
She's like, you know, I want to reach out to me. Even when he'll tweet something like sports related. I'm at 7% body fat right now. What'll it end up? And his birth mom's like 4 or 5%. I don't know. And like, oh, this is wrong what you're doing, Colin.
That's embarrassing.
It's so strange. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think, because this is like, there are very good sides to this. Is this the time and place to protest? What do you think about this pastor who said that people should be shot for protesting? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to this channel immediately if you haven't. And don't forget to, and then that's it. We'll see you next time.
That's it.